In boardrooms and back channels around the globe, an unspoken text passes from hand to hand. Machiavelli's The Prince. What was once a controversial manual for Renaissance despots is now late-night reading for Silicon Valley titans and Wall Street barons. From Elon Musk's whirlwind Twitter takeover to fortune hunters dissecting strategy in MBA lectures, today's billionaires covertly study Machiavelli to sharpen their edge. This article reveals why and how modern moguls translate 16th century cunning into 21st century dominance. Centuries ago, Niccolò Machiavelli shocked his peers by insisting that a ruler's first duty is not to virtue, but to survival. In The Prince, he broke with the prevailing idealism, arguing that moral absolutes must yield to necessity. Imagine a leader standing at a crossroads. Follow the path of unwavering honesty into potential ruin, or embrace pragmatic deception to secure stability. Machiavelli counseled the latter, teaching that sometimes we must wield cruelty, broken promises, or strategic betrayal not for glory, but for the greater good of maintaining order. This relentless focus on outcomes over ideals resonates deeply in boardrooms today. Think of a CEO facing bankruptcy. Charitable gestures and lofty commitments ring hollow if the company collapses. Instead, a calculated layoff, painful as it is, can preserve the core and buy time for recovery. That is Machiavellian realpolitik in action, choosing the lesser evil to avoid catastrophe. Modern billionaires internalize this lesson daily. They understand that bold pivots, acquiring a competing startup at enormous cost, cutting product lines, or reshaping corporate culture overnight, may offend purists but yield long-term dominance. By embracing Machiavelli's realism, they accept that success often demands uncomfortable trade-offs, transforming idealists into strategists who navigate power with unflinching clarity. Because in both Renaissance courts and global markets, those who prioritize results over reputations write history. Picture Elon Musk standing on the precipice of a digital empire, tweets blazing like cannon fire while the world watches in equal parts awe and anxiety. When Musk launched his bid for Twitter, he didn't follow polite negotiation. He staged a coup. In The Prince, Machiavelli advises new rulers to destroy the old order completely before rebuilding loyalty. Musk's sweeping firings of executives and board members mirrored this tactic, extinguishing potential rivals and signaling that the rules had irrevocably changed. Yet Musk pairs ruthlessness with showmanship. Under cover of midnight tweets, he leaks tantalizing plans: spin up payments in Dogecoin, reopen the office, delete verification gates, keeping allies hopeful and adversaries off balance. This unpredictability is pure Machiavelli. A ruler should be both fox and lion, combining cunning surprises with displays of strength. By controlling the narrative, launching viral announcements one moment, framing himself as the champion of free speech the next, Musk wields perception like a weapon, shaping public opinion far beyond Silicon Valley boardrooms. When journalists questioned his vision, Musk didn't placate them with polite press releases. He challenged them head-on, daring critics to prove him wrong. This provocation echoes Machiavelli's belief that fear, once established, cements authority more reliably than affection. Yet Musk tempers the iron fist with lofty ideals, saving civilization through renewable energy, colonizing Mars for humanity's insurance policy, inviting loyal followers to see him not as a mere tycoon, but as a visionary savior. In Musk's world, success is not an accident of innovation, but the fruit of calculated power plays. By embracing Machiavelli's lessons, seizing opportunities, mastering perception, and balancing strategic ruthlessness with a grand narrative, he has become Silicon Valley's quintessential modern prince. The allure of Machiavelli's insights transcends centuries and ideologies, drawing disciples from contrasting arenas of power. Take Tupac Shakur, who reinvented himself behind the moniker Machiavelli after devouring The Prince during his prison stint. He emerged with lyrics sharpened by strategy, crafting verses that alternated between vulnerability and veiled threats, keeping audiences off guard and cementing his reputation as both poet and predator. His persona became a living study in controlled deception, resilience, and the ruthless pursuit of influence. Centuries earlier, Joseph Stalin quietly annotated Machiavelli's chapters on cruelty and survival, internalizing lessons on swift, targeted purges and the weaponization of fear. As rival commissars vanished overnight, Stalin mastered the art of eliminating challenges before they took root, just as Machiavelli prescribed when he urged rulers to extinguish threats completely so they never rise again. Even outside celebrity and dictatorship, Machiavelli's reach extends into academic circles. Antonio Gramsci reinterpreted his realpolitik through cultural hegemony, showing how ideological control mirrors political domination. Business students dissect boardroom battles through a Machiavellian lens, analyzing hostile takeovers as modern sieges of city-states. From gangster rap to global autocracies to MBA case studies, these alumni demonstrate that Machiavelli's dark strategies adapt to any battlefield. Their stories remind us, whether you command a studio, a secret police force, or a corporate empire, the tactics of the prince remain chillingly effective. Walk into any top-tier MBA classroom today, and you'll find students poring over passages from The Prince alongside quarterly financial reports. Imagine a case study session where an armada of PowerPoint slides unspools the drama of a hostile takeover, complete with balance sheets, media spin, and whispered boardroom maneuvering. The professor pauses at Machiavelli's maxim that virtù, the capacity to shape one's own fortune, outweighs rigid planning. Suddenly, layoffs and pivot decisions aren't just numbers on a spreadsheet. They become strategic moves in a chess match for corporate survival. In executive suites, CEOs draw on Machiavelli's lessons every day. They study competitor weaknesses as if sizing up rival city-states, crafting alliances, and burning bridges with equal purpose. When a merger falters, they channel the prince's counsel on swift, decisive action, cut non-performing divisions, reassign leadership, and reshape culture before dissent can coalesce. Outside the ivory tower, leadership seminars teach Machiavellian negotiation, a sanitized term for combining charm with covert leverage, just as Renaissance princes balance the fox's cunning with the lion's strength. Role-playing exercises encourage future executives to withhold information, time their disclosures, and frame outcomes so that stakeholders believe they arrived at decisions themselves. Through simulations, debates, and real-world audits, business schools have woven Machiavelli's unflinching realism into their DNA. Today's corporate titans graduate fluent in the language of power. They understand that in both Florence's palaces and Wall Street's trading floors, success belongs to those who master strategy, perception, and the art of decisive, even ruthless leadership. Picture Yvon Chouinard standing amid Patagonia's rugged headquarters, watching profits roll in as environmental activists applaud. Yet underneath the fleece jackets and fair trade labels lies a quieter lesson in Machiavellian strategy. Use power not to dominate, but to elevate. Chouinard didn't shy away from bold moves, donating company profits, launching "Don't Buy This Jacket" campaigns to curb overconsumption, and challenging trade groups, all tactics that reinforced Patagonia's ethical brand while squeezing out less principled competitors. This is ruthless compassion in action. Machiavelli taught that generosity, when calculated and visible, binds followers in loyalty. Chouinard's public commitment to environmental causes wasn't simply altruism. It was a strategic alliance with a growing demographic of conscious consumers. By framing sustainability as a core business imperative, Patagonia turned ethical responsibility into a competitive moat. Competitors who dismissed these values lost market share, their reputations tarnished by accusations of greenwashing. Today's entrepreneurs draw from this hybrid model. They recognize that absolute amoral cunning risks long-term ruin, just as Machiavelli warned that cruelty without vision breeds rebellion. Instead, they marry his adaptability with a moral compass. They set ambitious social goals, then deploy data-driven tactics, selective transparency, targeted philanthropy, and narrative control to ensure those goals translate into customer loyalty and investor confidence. In this new era, the most formidable leaders are neither saints nor tyrants, but pragmatic idealists. They wield Machiavellian insights to protect their bottom line while advancing a mission. They prove that power and purpose need not be enemies. In fact, the shrewdest strategy may be using virtue itself as a weapon. Machiavelli's timeless realism continues to guide modern power brokers, from Elon Musk's seismic corporate gambits to Patagonia's ethical market stronghold. By prioritizing results over rigid ideals, these leaders adapt swiftly, manage perception, and seize opportunity when others hesitate. Yet the most enduring success stories blend strategic ruthlessness with responsibility, proving that influence anchored in purpose can outlast pure ambition. Whether you seek boardroom dominance or conscientious innovation, understanding Machiavelli's lessons empowers you to navigate complexity with clarity. Embrace his insights wisely, and you may not only win, you may also redefine what winning means. Seek wisdom,